I never imagined a paint color would spark a war. All I wanted was to paint my front door navy blue. Something classic. Subtle. It matched my shutters and blended perfectly with the house. The HOA guidelines said doors must be tasteful and complementary. No list of approved colors. No specific bands. Just vague suggestions. I followed the rules. I submitted the form. Attached the color sample. Waited. 3 days later, the email came in, subject line in full caps. Violation notice. Unauthorized color selection. Karen Wilkins. President of the HOA. Self-appointed Queen of Oakwood Estates. She ruled the neighborhood like a petty dictator, enforcing standards that didn't exist anywhere in writing. Her email called my navy blue excessively bold and said it disrupted the neighborhood aesthetic harmony. Whatever that meant. She told me to choose a color from her pre-approved list, all of which looked like different shades of hospital wall beige. I responded politely, asking where in the HOA documents it listed those restrictions. Her reply was just one sentence. The board has discretionary authority on aesthetic matters. Your request is denied. I'm not the kind of guy who likes conflict, but I don't back down from bullies either. I requested a formal hearing with the HOA board. Karen tried to stall it, postponed twice with flimsy excuses. When it finally happened, she brought what she called an amended bylaw packet. According to her, it had been added 5 years ago. Claimed it banned bold colors entirely. But I noticed something weird. The page with the supposed amendment looked newer. Different font. Wider paper. Stapled awkwardly between older, yellowed pages. Her board, all nodding like synchronized bobbleheads, voted unanimously to deny my request. No questions. No discussion. Just rubber-stamped Karen's narrative. I knew something wasn't right. So I started digging. I called Richard McAllister, the HOA president before Karen. He retired 2 years ago and moved to Florida. I asked him about the amendment. His response was instant. We never passed anything like that. We talked about it once, but the board couldn't agree on colors, so we scrapped it. He sounded genuinely confused and concerned. Next, I went to the county records office. By law, all HOA amendments have to be filed there to be enforceable. I requested the full Oakwood Estates filing history. The documents they gave me were clear. There was no amendment. No change banning colors. The original covenant still stood, only requiring colors to be tasteful and complementary. That was it. Armed with proof, I took the documents to 2 board members I thought might be honest. They seemed uneasy, almost scared. One of them muttered, Karen's very organized with paperwork. Maybe it just hasn't been filed yet. I wasn't buying it. I sent a formal letter to the board asking for clarification. I included photos, scanned documents, and a full explanation of the discrepancies. 3 days later, I got a certified letter from Karen. The letter accused me of multiple HOA violations, garbage bins left out on the wrong day, unauthorized garden edging, and, most ridiculously, excessive holiday decorations. In April, when I hadn't put up anything. The total fine? $900. It was clearly retaliation. I photographed every corner of my property. Nothing out of order. No violations. I requested another hearing. Karen's response? A legal injunction. She claimed I was harassing the board. Said I disrupted HOA operations. She submitted affidavits, supposedly signed by my neighbors, the Johnsons, stating I had displayed aggressive behavior and violated multiple community standards. But the Johnsons had been on a 3-week European cruise. I knew that because I helped them pick up their mail while they were gone. The affidavit was dated right in the middle of their trip. I called them. They were furious. Not only had they not signed anything, they hadn't even been in the country. Now it was beyond HOA drama. This was criminal. I contacted an attorney who specializes in HOA law. I handed her everything, the falsified documents, the fake violations, the forged affidavits. She looked over it all and said something I hadn't expected. This isn't just HOA overreach. This is fraud. Real fraud. She's broken the law. She filed a countersuit on my behalf. Named Karen personally. Requested an emergency hearing. It got approved. The judge assigned? Marcus Rivera. Known for his no-nonsense stance on community abuse cases. Karen showed up to court with a polished look and a smug smile. Her lawyer looked straight out of a commercial, expensive suit, practiced confidence. She avoided eye contact with me. Just shuffled papers and whispered to her attorney. Her side went first. They painted me as a troublemaker. Said I refused to follow rules. They waved around the fake bylaw amendment like it was gospel. Then it was our turn. My lawyer laid it all out, the county records, the old HOA president's statement, and most damning, the Johnsons' signed affidavit saying they had never submitted the document Karen claimed. Plus passport stamps and flight records showing they weren't even in the U.S. Judge Rivera's face shifted as he looked through the evidence. His brows lowered. His eyes narrowed. He compared the signatures side by side. These signatures don't match the Johnsons on file, he said, adjusting his glasses. Then, turning to Karen, he asked, Did you personally witness these being signed? Karen hesitated. They were emailed to me, she said. I printed them out. Show me the emails, the judge replied. Karen fumbled with her phone. Whispers. Delays. Then, I can't seem to find them at the moment. Rivera didn't like that answer. We're ordering a forensic examination, he said. Of all documents submitted. Karen's smile vanished. Her hands began to tremble. The examination didn't take long. 3 days later, we were back in court. The forensic report was in. The expert didn't mince words. The amended bylaw pages were recently printed, not 5 years old. The paper stock didn't match the rest of the packet Karen had submitted. More importantly, the ink on the amendment was chemically fresher than the other pages. The biggest bombshell was the Johnsons' signatures. The forensic team proved they had been digitally copied from HOA membership forms and pasted onto the affidavits. Identical pixel alignment. No pen pressure variation. It was fraud, plain and simple. Judge Rivera read the findings aloud. The room was silent except for the flipping of pages. Karen sat stiffly, eyes locked on the table in front of her. Her attorney whispered furiously, but she didn't respond. When the judge finished reading, he looked straight at Karen. Ms. Wilkins, please rise. She stood, visibly trembling. Based on the evidence presented, I am dismissing the injunction against the defendant. Furthermore, I am referring this case to the district attorney for investigation of multiple charges, including document forgery, fraud, and perjury. Karen let out a sharp breath. This is ridiculous, she snapped. I am the president of this HOA. I have worked tirelessly for this community. You're taking the word of someone who just wants to break the rules? Rivera didn't blink. The law applies equally to everyone, Ms. Wilkins. Position does not place you above accountability. Then came the final order. Bailiff, take Ms. Wilkins into custody. The courtroom gasped. Karen froze. You can't do this to me, she cried as the bailiff approached. I've given everything to this neighborhood. Her voice cracked, rising into a shriek. Everything. The handcuffs clicked around her wrists. Her mascara was streaking down her cheeks as she was led away. The last thing she said before the door shut behind her was, This isn't over. The judge set her bail at $25,000 and ordered her to surrender her passport. He then turned to me. Sir, you are free to paint your door in accordance with the original HOA covenants. I suggest the board hold an emergency election to replace its leadership. I nodded, still processing what had just happened. The entire courtroom watched Karen disappear like a dictator being dethroned. Later that week, I painted the door navy blue. Neighbors came by to shake my hand. Some left notes. One guy brought beer. Another offered to help fix my fence. The Johnsons? They threw a small barbecue and toasted to blue doors and the truth. The board called for a vote, and Karen was removed officially. Her trial is still pending, and the community's a lot quieter now. The rules are clearer. The fines stopped. The fear's gone. Sometimes I stand on the porch and look at that door. It's not just paint anymore. It's proof that standing up, even over something small, can unravel a much bigger lie. And that no title, no clipboard, no badge, no board position, can protect someone who thinks they're above the law.